Good afternoon, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is another weekend of scatter shooting news. Now, hang on to your handlebars. We've got a clip that was posted on Facebook. We do not even know where this took place, but an Antifa type attacks a police officer, and watch what happens. But we've got some interesting questions to ask about this particular video clip. Here it goes. Watch this, please. This is pretty interesting here. Watch this. This guy is feeling his oats, man. He's getting ready.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Oh, look at that. Punched him in the face. Well, by God, look at this. He's keeping his cool. He's keeping his cool. Going back, I got something to show you.
Get that nigga. Oh shit. Yo, nigga.
There we go.
Fuck that nigga.
This is one way to do it. Yeah. Call in reinforcements. The dog. Now, this video brings up more questions than it does answers. One thing is you're going to get your ass whooped by a dog. But I guess the big question is where's his backup? We'll comment on that in a few minutes, or after this video is over. Oh, there's backup, but that wasn't the backup I was talking about. Well, end of story on that supposed Antifa member. You know, that video brings more questions than answers when you look at it. Oh, sure, it was cool to see a dog take down what you think is an Antifa type, but here's some questions. You know, Antifa, they never operate alone. They've got to have 1,000 people out in front of them. 1,000 people out in front while they do the dirty deeds in the background. Yeah, they got to have looters available so while they bust windows, they come in and shop. That's the Antifa types. Now, unless their strategy has changed, you know, what's going on here? I mean, just think, by now, seeing this video clip, we ought to know, you know, who is this guy? Do we have a name? Do we even have a place of where this took place? And, you know, and where is he now? Is he out on bail? And if he is out on bail, who got him out so fast? Because he should be in jail for a very long time. But when you see what happens to like 1% biker clubs who are not gangs, by now we'd see their mug shots, we'd see nationwide media coverage, we'd see gang affiliation, and let me tell you, that's right, Antifa's not a gang. Antifa is our homegrown domestic terrorist. But let's move on. Questions to think about. We've got work to do. Well, next up is the CHAZE tourism video that you've got to see. You can find it on Facebook, the CHAZE tourism video. You can also find it. We posted it at TexasBikerRadio.org in the news and comment. And that's also where you'll find this video. Interesting video to watch. I agree with them about still calling it CHAZE. I will not call it CHOP because they didn't like the name CHAZE. So let's continue to call it just that. Anyway, go watch that video, comment on it later on. Last week, the alarm was sounded. The word was sent out across Texas to Texas patriots. Come and defend it. Come and defend it. And we're talking about the monuments and the things that mean so much to Texas in Gonzales, Texas. That's right, the Antifa types had threatened to go either desecrate or try and tear down a monument, demand the monuments be removed, monuments that mean so much to us as Texans. That's not going to happen. The call was put out. Patriots showed up from across Texas, showed up there to defend the monuments from these anarchists. And let me tell you, if they're true to their cause, and they really believe they need to start removing history, they need to start with the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party has had 200 years of supporting slavery. 200 years. It continues today. The slave masters are the Democratic Party, and they are enslaving people within the BLM to go out and do their deeds. That's what's happening today. They are the slave masters. And if you want to start removing monuments and road names and everything else, you start with KKK member Robert Byrd, a Democrat who was a leader in the KKK, and the list runs on and on of supporters of slavery within the Democratic Party, and it continues today, is what I'm saying. Start there. Start there. Quit voting the bastards in year after year after year after year. Cut it out. Turn on them. Put your sights where they should be. But our eyes on the ground tells us that they haven't seen so many DPS officers since Waco. So it's absolutely incredible. The monuments were defended on Friday, and it will continue to be that way. Anytime they make a threat at a monument that means so much to us as Texans, like the Alamo, will not happen. Will not happen. But let's do some more scatter shooting. How about John Bolton? That's right. You know, he's throwing the president under the bus. Just think about it. In 2016, he did all he could go into all of President Trump's campaigns, everything else, working diligently to get onto Donald Trump's staff, his closest advisors. So remember, you have to remember this about John Bolton. John Bolton is about John Bolton and nobody else. Nobody else. He is a piece of crap. He is part of the deep state. And once he got on to the president's staff, he basically had policy disagreements with President Trump. So whether he was fired or whether he resigned is beside the point. John Bolton was there all along for what he's doing right now. A book deal, $2 million. That's what John Bolton is all about. He's all about himself. He's not about anything else. He's not about this country. He's about himself. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I am important. I've got the goods. It's all about his 15 minutes of fame, and he's had too many of them. But now he's the darling of the media. So as long as he's trashing Trump, as long as he's trashing Trump, he's gonna be their darling until he's no longer needed. And then, like everything else, they'll throw him under the bus. Yeah, they will. You have to understand what's going on. It's get Donald Trump at all costs. And there are many people out there that will jump on that bandwagon to benefit monetarily, to benefit politically, to benefit themselves. And that's what the BLM is all about and all this other stuff. But let's move on to some more scattered. And our final comments. You know, all the air is being sucked out of the room by the BLM and the Antifa types across the nation. Even though everything that's going on out there is 99% based on lies. Now, who would know that this would happen? In the tiny nation of CHOP, formerly known as CHAZE, one person has been critically injured and one dead due to at least 6 shots fired within the 6 block square of the tiny nation of CHOP. People have been warning of this, and you know, every bit of this is on the mayor, the governor, and the authorities there in Seattle, Washington. Every bit of this is on them. When is there going to be enough? What is going to be enough? A mass murder? What is going to be enough? It doesn't matter what we say, what we do. This is going to keep going on and on and on until we stop it. And let me tell you, Atlanta is going to need a strong police department. Because more than likely, the law officer that's been charged with murder in Atlanta is going to walk. Because the person that was murdered, Bouchard, he attacked the police. Literally. We can all see it. We all know it. We all know the results of what happened. Everything now is second guessing. And in a court of law, this law officer is going to walk. Atlanta is going to burn when this happens. So you better be thinking twice about getting rid of your police department. And that goes for every other city across this nation. Every city across this nation. Understand that here at Texas Biker Radio, Sons of Liberty Riders MC, and I can speak for many, many other bikers out there. We're not anti-law enforcement, but we are anti-corrupt law enforcement, and we are anti-corrupt courts. Because we've seen and we have enough evidence to prove it. But anything we would say now would go just out into the air. Because like I just said, all the air is being sucked out of the room by the BLM and those who would overthrow our way of life, our country, our Constitution. And believe you me, our Constitution is hanging by a thread, and it's all we've got left to protect ourselves. Whether it be from the BLM itself, law enforcement, or whoever out there. That document is so important. But pass the word, everybody. Texas Biker Radio News is on YouTube. You can find us at texasbikerradio.org on the web. And Sons of Liberty Riders MC on Facebook. We are defenders of the Constitution and those who've had their constitutional rights violated. With that, everybody, good day and ride safe.